In a quiet corner of a misty valley in Japan stood an ancient Zen monastery where time seemed to move slower, and the sound of the wind in the bamboo groves whispered more truth than the world below. The monastery was home to a small group of monks and one old master, Master Au, who was known not for great speeches or miracles, but for his unshakable stillness. Each morning, before sunrise, while the younger monks meditated, swept the temple grounds, or prepared rice, Master Au would walk to the edge of the courtyard and pour water into a small clay pot. Inside that pot was a withered plant, completely dead. No stem, no leaf, no green, just dry, cracked soil. And yet the ritual never changed. He poured the water slowly, gently, then bowed his head in silence before returning to his usual chores. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. The monks began to whisper among themselves, "Why does he water that pot? Does he not see it's dead? Is this some kind of test?" But no one dared to ask him. Not yet. Then one day a new disciple arrived at the monastery. His name was Taro, a 23-year-old seeker from Kyoto. He had left behind a high-paying job, a fiancé, and a fast-paced city life in search of inner peace. He was eager, disciplined, and full of questions, and it didn't take him long to notice the strange habit of the master. On the 40th morning of his stay, after the master finished watering the pot once again, Taro bowed and gently asked, "Master, forgive my ignorance, but why do you water something that cannot grow?" The other monks froze. Some expected the master to remain silent. Others expected a metaphor. But Master Au turned and simply said, "Because I must." Taro pressed softly. "But if it's dead, what's the point?" The master walked to a nearby bench, sat down, and patted the space beside him. "Come," he said, "I will tell you a story." Taro sat. The master pointed to the distant hills where the morning fog had just begun to rise. "When I was young, I planted that very flower," he said. "It bloomed once, only once, and then withered. We tried everything to revive it. Better soil, more sunlight, prayers, but nothing worked. Everyone told me to remove it, but I couldn't." Taro looked puzzled. "Why?" The master's eyes softened. "Because I planted it when my wife died." The air grew still. Even the wind held its breath. We were married only 3 years. She loved that flower. Every morning she would talk to it like it was a child. When she passed, the flower bloomed once, and then never again. Taro looked down. The master continued, "Everyone thought I was holding on to grief. Maybe I was, but over the years I realized something else. I wasn't watering a dead plant. I was watering the part of me that still knew how to care." Taro blinked. "You mean it was never about the flower?" The master nodded. "In this world, we are trained to only act when there is reward, when things grow, respond, bloom. But what about the places in life that never bloom again? What about the people who never come back? Do we stop loving them? Do we stop tending to their memory just because they no longer give us something in return?" Taro's throat tightened. The master placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "This world will teach you to abandon what no longer serves you. But Zen teaches you to stay human, even when there is nothing left to gain." The young monk looked at the clay pot again. It was still lifeless, still dry, and yet, in that moment, it felt more alive than anything he had ever known. The next morning before sunrise, Taro woke up early and walked to the clay pot with a small jug of water. He poured gently, the way he had seen the Master do. He bowed, he smiled, and for the first time in his life, he didn't need the flower to grow to know that he was. And if this story watered something in you, something forgotten, something buried, something still capable of love, subscribe to this channel, because not every story is about fixing. Some stories are about remembering the parts of us that never stopped caring, even when the world told us to stop.